Hello everyone, welcome to the Northwest Geology Guy. My name's Scott, an amateur geologist. Over the last 35 years I've been studying the geology mostly in Washington State and the West Coast. But today we're going to be looking at the Copalis Ghost Forest along the Copalis River. And this was caused by the 1700 megathrust quake and tsunami. When the trees were growing up, it looked pretty much like it does right here in the picture here. But they were all nice, alive, growing, healthy trees. And when the tsunami hit, this dropped down below sea level and was inundated by the tsunami, and the salt water flooded all the trees here, and the salt water killed the trees. Well, that was the theory, but Brian Atwater down here, he's the one that discovered this. He was going up and down all the rivers and estuaries on the West Coast along the subduction zone. And he came down here and found, he dug down in the sides of the marsh here, and he dug down and started finding layers of tsunami sand. And one of the layers even showed, like here, I think that it is, was a campfire of the local native Indian tribe that was wiped out. But he was, as he dug down deeper and deeper, he found more layers of tsunami sands from previous megathrust quakes and tsunamis. And pretty much Brian Atwater, he confirmed the theory that we do have tsunamis and major quakes here in the U.S., but prior to that, people just didn't think there was any major earthquakes on the west coast of Washington. We knew we had a subduction zone, but they thought it was subducting very smoothly, slowly, with no obstructions, no way of locking the North American plate and the Juan Fuca plate. But they were wrong, as we know now. And Brian Atwater brought in David Yamaguchi. I believe he's a doctor. I'm not sure what title it is, but he works with tree rings and carbon dating tree rings. They took core samples of the dead trees there, and they carbon dated it, and it came back to the 1700 time frame. And that confirmed it, that it came back to the same time as the carbon dating down here in the marsh area here, with the tsunami sands in the marshes. And later on, there was a doctor, scientist in Japan that heard of Atwater's work, and he remembered seeing that in a book. And the Japanese are really famous for their detailed records of the past events. And back in 1700, they recorded an orphan tsunami, which is a tsunami without an earthquake, on January 26th or 27th of 1700. And now we know the speed of the tsunamis, how long it would take to get from the West Coast to Japan, and that put it at about 9 o'clock in the evening on January 26th of 1700. But it's still very interesting how this ghost forest has remained here for over 300 years. Now we're at 319 years. So it doesn't look like it's going to be going away anytime soon. It's just a grave reminder of what can happen in our next megathrust quake. And I don't know if many people have ever heard of this or not. If you don't live in the West Coast, subduction zone area, you would know the Cascadia story of the ghost forests. But I thought you guys might like this. It was something that I just kind of popped in my head, and I thought this would be a great video for you guys. Please comment, like, share the video. And if you're new and like my work, I'm hoping you will subscribe, and don't feel bad about leaving a comment, and I'll never see it. I check my comments on here all the time, even from almost a year ago. I get a notification in my email, and I will read it and respond. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a good night.